All right, so this next video is going to cover American imperialism. If you look over here, there is a political cartoon depicting English imperialism because England used to be a much larger empire and had control over many different areas around the world. If you remember, the American colonies were part of England's empire before we fought for independence. So, imperialism is in part a stronger nation taking over a weaker nation and making it its own. It has to do with expansion and the want or the need to expand the country, make it larger. Some reasons for colonial expansion include a need for raw materials. Remember, that was a big part of the reason why England didn't want to let go of the 13 colonies. And another reason why the 13 colonies played such a big part in triangular trade was because of those raw materials, the things that are needed to make finished goods, which then can be sold. There are also strategic reasons having to do with military or commerce or whatever, as strategic meaning as far as position. Nationalism, that's kind of like an ego thing, understanding that we are a big, strong, powerful country, and also attitude towards other peoples and how we felt or how empires maybe feel superior to other, maybe not so advanced or not so developed countries. So Alfred T. Mahan came out after the Spanish American War as a leading advocate for imperial expansion. He thought it would be necessary in order for the United States to be a world power to have a very powerful navy. He advocated for a large marine supply, and he thought the colonies would be good as naval bases and also for trading purposes. Okay, the anti-imperialists, where you have this guy is pro-imperialism, you have anti-imperialists. And you have groups coming about that stem and have members such as Mark Twain and Andrew Carnegie. And they felt that imperialism violated the basic principles of foundation the basic principles of democracy that the United States was founded on. Now, when we were founded, we were against imperial countries. We were going against countries like England. And so the anti-imperialists say, we're formed on democracy. How can we be hypocritical and now become imperialistic ourselves? So the group that was formed was known as the American Anti-Imperialist League, and that was formed in 1898. The political cartoon that you see here is meant to depict the United States growing over time. Here in 1783, you see the birth of the Constitution and our way of life. 1803, 1819, 1861, 1898, and you notice it just keeps getting larger and larger, 1899, and this is, of course, after the Spanish-American War, where we acquired so much land. If you notice here in 1803, that's the Louisiana Purchase. Over time, with westward expansion, we see a growth of the nation to where we are now. And today, what this symbolizes is that the rest of the world is asking us for assistance because we are such a great power. Okay, so the Platt Amendment is something that you need to know, and it has to do with Cuba. And the Platt Amendment basically said that Cuba was still going to be independent, but the imperialists won this argument because it didn't just guarantee Cuban independence, but we still kind of had a hand in saying what was going to happen with Cuba in certain matters. And in order to guarantee their independence, the Cubans had to agree to the Platt Amendment. And the Platt Amendment says that the U.S. has the right to intervene in Cuban affairs at any time. So that's saying, okay, we'll let you be free, but we're going to butt in whenever we feel like it. Okay, America in the Pacific. We also, remember, acquired the Philippines, and the Philippines did fight for their independence. They fought and fought and fought for quite some time until about 1902, when they finally did lose their bid for independence. And there you see some Filipino fighters. In Hawaii, the reasons that we wanted Hawaii was because it would be a great refueling station, like Mahan had stated, for our ships. Also, the United States had built sugar and pineapple plantations there, and so it was a great source for raw materials. Missionaries were also sent there to convert the people to Christianity. And in the 1890s, Queen Liliuokalani tried to get her power back, but was unsuccessful. She had been overthrown by some planters and other commerce businessmen there. Now, when she was overthrown, we as the United States sent in Sanford B. Dole as a replacement leader for Hawaii. Now look at this last name, Dole. Think Dole, pineapple. And when you see Dole, I want you to remember Hawaii. Now, Sanford Dole led a temporary or provisional government while it was being annexed, Hawaii. And his government limited native rights, and finally Hawaii was annexed in 1898. Now, annexation or an annex is a smaller part of a greater entity, of something bigger. So this is a small part of a greater entity, meaning the United States, even though it's not directly attached to us. Okay, so Guam was a port of call for Spanish ships. The United States received it after the Spanish-American War, and today it is still a territory of the United States. Samoa and Midway. Now, Midway, we took possession of it in 1867. Samoa was divided between us and Germany in 1899. All right, so that's the end of the video. See you tomorrow in class. Please don't forget to comment and bring in your notes tomorrow. Bye.